Hey guys, good morning. Hey, I'm out on a property here with Rooted Land Management, and this is an overgrown mess. And we are going to come in here and we're going to open this up with some equipment just so that the buyers can see what's in here. And this is a kind of a new affiliation, I would say, that I'm trying to work out. And we're going to see if it'll help us bring better value to your land, cleared out so it looks better, and definitely I think it'll help get a sale faster with not a lot of investment. So what we're doing here is probably going to be a little less than $2,000 investment by the time we're done. One day of work, and we're going to come in here and we're going to clean this out. So this is the before. I'll show you some of the process while they're working, and we'll see what the after looks like. You know, clearing your land and getting it sold is pretty key, because if people can't get into a property and understand what they're buying, they're kind of hesitant. And this property here, if you look on the aerials, as I go through some thick Johnson grass here, it looks like it's wet, but you know, as I'm walking through here, it's wetter in some areas. But I think if it was opened up and allowed for the sun to start working on it and just get that the air moving, I think this soil will dry out. And this is going to be a great use here for pasture land. I mean, it looks pretty good. All this brush here is pretty small stuff, as you can see. This isn't big stuff here, so this is pretty easy. So I think this is just a matter of cleaning this out, getting a good open sight lines, and I think we're going to have a good looking property here. That's my guess. So I can hear the guys unloading the equipment, but let's see them get to work. So I don't know if you can hear the guys, but they're up behind me and they're coming down this hill. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out this hill here because it's somewhat sloped, it's somewhat dry. This would be a great building spot right here. So we're gonna bring in an entrance from the road and see if we can't get good entrance and exits on this property and great sight lines. One thing about these forestry mulchers are they're very expensive, and I found over time that the range of how to price these, if you're thinking about using one, it's usually by the day, but you got to take into account how far do they have to travel. In this case, these guys came 2 or 3 hours. They're about $1,500 to $2,000 worth of days of work of actual run time. But it can vary. I've had them as low as a couple $100 if they're local, up to, you know, towards the top end. But you get what you pay for, and you got to remember that this equipment is expensive. Each of these little tines that are on the discs that turn, that tear up these trees like they're nothing, are like $250 for every little tine. So if they come into an area and they hit rocks, or they hit something, they break it, it can be costly. So you got to factor that in to their cost. But I tell you what, by the time we open up this hillside, it's going to look majorly different. And I'm hoping that he'll come out of the bushes here so we can actually see it working, because it's pretty impressive. You can see the work that these guys have done. I mean, in 5 minutes, we've got this much opened up. And when I first came to this property, I thought, how are we going to access it? But really, there's a fantastic entry. It's right here. A little culvert, maybe some driveway, gravel, and you got yourself a building site. And you just wouldn't ever know that this was here unless you spent a few $1,000s. It completely changes the character of this property for minimal effort, from machine time at least, and not a lot of expense. So this is really looking great. I can tell it's going to really help this property. So I'm gonna take you down here. We're gonna get about 100 feet in front of the machines, but you're gonna see this is what we're dealing with. And unbeknownst to buyers, on the other side of this is a really nice slope building site. But we're gonna open this up, and the after view of this property is gonna be amazingly different, because this is almost impenetrable and definitely not accessible. And here's the after. Holy cow, can you tell the difference here? I mean, 2 or 3 days ago, I was standing in brush that was 25 feet tall. It was so thick you couldn't walk through it. But now look at it. Folks, this could be tillable land here. You put this under a plow, this is a cornfield or a soybean field, and it's definitely a building site. It's nicely sloped, it's open, you could build a home in here. I'm sure it perks, but you would never know if you hadn't done this work. Come in here. And we spent $2,000 to clear this area out here and an area in front of the property, and it's a night and day difference. It just goes to show you, if you put a little bit of money, in this case it's $2,000 to do this work here and there, and this is going to result in thousands and thousands of dollars better purchase price simply by clearing it up. If you're looking at your property, or you're looking at buying property, look at it with an eye that says, what can I improve it? How much is it going to cost? It could be a really simple fix. And if you have a question, then reach out to me, because I know folks all over the United States. Call me, I'll help you out. We'll get you in touch with the right person. Hey folks, I'm Neil Hogger. I'm a land specialist for Whitetail Properties Real Estate, looking at a fantastic new property. I'm listed in St. Croix County, Wisconsin. You've been watching The American Landman. Man, this looks good. Can't believe it.